Moving to Spain looks beautiful on Instagram. Beaches, food, lifestyle, sunshine. But what people don't talk about is the preparation it takes to actually settle here. So coming to Spain isn't just booking a flight. It's paperwork, patience, mindset shift, and a lot of learning. So if you are planning to move to Spain for work or studies or for a new life, this video can save you time, money, and a lot of unnecessary stress. I have broken this down into three simple phases. Phase one, what to do before you come. Phase two, how do you prepare during the journey, during the flight. And three, what really matters after you move. So I'll share some practical tips based on real life experience, not just theory. And in the end, I've also included a free checklist PDF so you can download and follow the steps one by one. So if Spain is your next chapter, let's make sure that you start it right way. This is phase two. We're going to talk in detail about what are you going to do during the journey, that is after the phase one. We already talked about phase one in the first video. If not, I've put the link for the phase one in this video, the description, check it out. And here we can dive in detail to understand what are the steps that you need to do during the journey. That is when you have boarded the flight and you're in transit, and what would happen once you're landed in Spain. So sit back and relax and enjoy. Here comes the phase two, which is during the flight. So in phase two, what you're actually doing is actually traveling in the flight and how you're actually prepared for that. So during the flight, it's important that you actually have downloaded the offline maps and translators. Why offline maps is certain people, certain times you might have your own SIM card that doesn't work in a new country. So it's important that you actually get an eSIM. Certain times it works, but in all cases, ready to have, you should be ready with an offline map for your initial navigation. And next important step is to upload the documents to cloud. Why? Because there can be chances you might lose your document or you might somebody stolen. All that cases can happen. Let's be prepared for the worst case scenarios. Upload all your documents in cloud, Gmail or Google Cloud or iCloud, iPhone users have them saved in a folder, and in worst cases, you can use that. Next, and the most important thing is your accommodation. Where is your accommodation and how you're going to reach to that accommodation, or what mode of transportation that you're using? Are you going to take a metro, or you're going to use Uber or bus or train, whatever? Sort out your actual uh, journey from where you are leaving from the airport, and how do you reach the accommodation. That's also important. And the embassy info, because embassy is going to be really helpful if you are really lost or if you need some queries in immigration, all that. And one important point I want to highlight here is when you come from a non-EU country to a EU country, which is Spain, you must be really aware of one situation, that you get your passport stamped, that you're actually inside the country through the legitimate borders. You might, most of the time we come by flight, rare cases by boat. And so what happens in flight is generally you're coming from a non-EU country. Let's say you start from India and then you come to Germany, another EU country, and then from Germany you come to Spain, then your passport will not be stamped. They will just let you enter like a tourist, and the Germany will not give you an entry visa, the entry stamp in your passport. They will just move you. They will just say the transit is this way. You take the next flight, and then you come to Spain. This can happen most of the time if you come through directly to Spain or directly to EU. And why I wanted to highlight is the initial stamping is important for you to process your NIE card or TIE card, and this is important. So what should you do is every time you come inside Spain, or if your initial visa is ready, you make sure you book your flight in a way that from non-EU country, you're directly entering into Spain, either to Dubai or Abu Dhabi or any of the Middle East countries, or if you're coming from the West, it's highly possible that you will directly come to Spain. In worst cases, they might have a transit visa. They will put you in Portugal, and then you take another flight and come to Spain. But it's highly important that you check your flight, that your actually transition, your transit is happening outside of non-EU. Is really, really crucial. What happens is if you don't have a stamp, there is also another way to get around it. You might have to go to a national police office and tell them, I have, transited to through another EU country and I don't have a stamp in my passport. Then they give you another declaration that it's an entry declaration, which you have to do within the 72 hours of entry within the Spain. So why do you want to take that risk? It's important that stamp is important for every other cases in future. Somebody's asking you how long have you been in Spain? They will definitely go and check your passport. They'll see if there is the stamp in your passport, the date of entry. After 6 years or after 10 years, they're definitely going to check your passport, and the entry should be marked. So yeah, that's a very important point during the flight. Make sure you book the flight in a way that you come directly into Spain. I took a long time to explain this because it's crucially, really crucial, and that's why I wanted to highlight that. So yeah, let's move on. And the next point I wanted to talk is the mental transition, which I already highlighted in the phase one. When you are, mentally ready, that mindset shift is really important. It's important to stay calm. It's important to not rush yourself and uh, make decisions that make thoughts that would feel unmotivated for you, or you might feel low, or it can pull you down when you don't understand that you're actually starting from zero. So be prepared, accept the uncertainty that things are going to be slow, things are going to take some time to settle down. You're actually building a brand new version of yourself. So have that motivation for yourself and keep pushing. So the that's it for phase two. Let's move on to phase three, which is after you have landed, you start your new journey in Spain. You can click next to watch the phase three, or you will find the link in the description.